We started, so I'm going to go take a seat. The other ADs.
Welcome, everyone. Yes? You all can hear me? Yes. Thank you. For those of you who are able to stand, I invite you to do so. And President Howlett, the faculty, the staff, officers of the university, guests, and candidates are now assembled, and the hour is at hand. With your permission, proceedings begin.
Officially convene annual proceedings.
Thank you. Please, everyone, be seated. And out of respect to our commencement ceremony, I invite you now to take a moment to ensure that your cell phones are off or silenced. We are so glad that you've all joined us here today. I am the Associate Dean of the Graduate Institute, Dr. Laura Colquitt, and I am pleased to officially welcome you to today's ceremony, which is the School for International Training's 57th commencement exercise. Today, we welcome the 23 graduates who are joining us via live stream from all corners of the globe. Also joining us remotely are members of our board, our colleagues, friends of SIP, alumni, family members. Welcome to you all. And finally, we welcome the graduates who are here with us today in Perth, Vermont, joined by their family and friends, along with our board members, alumni, SIP faculty, including emeritus faculty and staff. And this year, we not only have our Graduate Institute faculty present, but also our many study abroad academic directors who have joined us from all corners of the world. And I invite you all to stand, our academic directors, so we can honor you as well today. I also convey a warm welcome to our platform party. And as I introduce the members of our platform party, I ask them to please stand. Andrea Bordeaux, our new Dean of Student Health, Safety, and Wellbeing. Dr. Catherine Inskeep, our Dean of Assessment and Learning Support. Dr. Saeed Gravid, the Dean of Faculty. Dr. Sophia Howlett, President of SIT. Honorable Bisa Williams, Chair of the Global Development and Exchange Committee of the World Learning Board of Trustees and our keynote speaker for today. Michael Clarfeld, the Chair of the Academic Affairs Committee of the World Learning Board of Trustees. Alan Cutler, the Chair of the World Learning Board of Trustees. Jana Sislovich, student speaker for today. And Dr. Azim Khan, Associate Professor, co-chair of our Masters in Global Health, and our faculty speaker. And finally, Eowyn Greeno, our Associate Director for Alumni Engagement. Thank you all for being here today to honor and celebrate our graduates. And before we move on, we'd like to take this opportunity to recognize the land upon which SIT is built, both here in Vermont and at our learning centers around the globe. So please join me in welcoming Rich Holsch, the representative from the Alumni Abenaki tribe, Fabienne Espinoza, an academic director in Ecuador, and Dr. Imran Fokas, the academic director in South Africa, for our land acknowledgements.
Guaniro Bak. Bakuno Luziana. We go down now, Yolan, Giska, Yodali, Jalewi Zile Sa, Tali, Wantafika, Tali Supaki. Hello, my friends. We meet here today, many of us for the first time. It's good to see you. I'm called Rich Holshu. I am of this place, what you know as Brattleboro today, known tradition is Montasigar, the Abenaki language, of which I am a student. We are all students. What brings us here today? We learn new things all the time. Words matter. They matter. And so I want to acknowledge today, because it matters, this place. These are the homelands of the Abenaki people. They, with their ancestors and allies, have been here for 12,000 years. They're still here. Aswan, Oltibana, Yodali. We find ourselves here together, many different people from many different places now, drawn together in this moment, in the present. What we do here today is informed by the past and will create the future. So what you say matters, and what follows matters even more. And acknowledgement implies responsibility. Thank you for coming today, for listening, and look forward to our further conversations. Thank you.
Minga Chiwai, Apo Sinchi, Supaikuna. Kai, Abenaki Nyaupa, Jakarta, Yupai, Chani, China Jaka, Yukapa Kui, Yukapa Muchaika, Kai Aju Jakapak Mikan, Tawan Pinsuli, Chincha Suyuman, Chus yang una tingkura kamitami achik tapas. Sinchi yachin kapa, runa, jakta kunapa, kiking kausai, kiking jaktaita, kiking ulkaita, kiking ulkai, kaushashpa, kati kapami, urku kunapa, awila kunapa, sacha kunapa, mayu kunapa, kausai sai manta, apa mupai, Shinaka, Tukui, Chungawang, Chaski, Pach. Acknowledgement, honor, respect, and gratitude to the ancestral and contemporary territory of the Abenakinish that today contains it. I bring light, courage, hope from Chinchai Thuyi, the northern region of the Tawantinsuyu, where the four horizons come together and become one. I bring the guardianship and the power of its volcanoes, forests, rivers, lakes, and seas to sustain our struggle, our resistance, our sovereignty, and self-determination. Yupai Chai.
Nkosi Sikelel e Africa. The opening lines of South Africa's Freedom Charter read that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, and no government can justly claim authority unless it is based on the will of all the people. But the racist state unjustly claimed authority of the land. In 1913, in 1948, and several times after that too. In South Africa, the scars of family upheaval and the wrenching apart of lives still sting. South Africa acknowledges settler colonialism, seized the majority of land in what is now South Africa via both colonial laws and further legislation. At the height of apartheid, African people were confined to just 13% of the land. Post-apartheid land reform has largely failed due to the lack of political will and endemic corruption, resulting in landlessness. There is conflict over land in the cities, and many lives have been lost in the struggle for urban land. The question of land ownership and management remains acutely political in post-apartheid South Africa. The aura of liberation was overwhelming, but it did not return the economy, and neither did it return the land. South Africa needs to affirm a renewed political will and commitment to addressing land hunger and speeding up land redistribution before the poor and the landless rise up and take it. Maibuye, Africa.
Thank you very much, Rich, Fabian, and Imran. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about the Atoe projects that Rich is involved with here, one of the Beneki initiatives, I encourage you to look at their website, where there are many educational resources and videos available. And I also encourage you to look at the Indigenous organizations wherever you are based. to learn about the work that they are doing locally and the ways in which you might be able to get involved to support. I now have the honor of delivering the welcome address to you all. I'd like to start this ceremony by sharing some thoughts about a concept that I've been thinking a lot about recently: kindness. To be clear, when I speak about kindness, I'm not referring to the behaviors that result from pity or sympathy, but rather I'm referring to a stance that is guided by an understanding of our shared humanness, a type of kindness that is less about niceness and more about honesty and equity. In this sense, kindness does not mean removing or lowering expectations. Instead, it means creating solid and equitable structures for people to be able to thrive. Kindness does not mean sheltering people from the truth, but rather providing them with the honest feedback they need to be successful. And kindness does not always mean telling. It often means listening. Carol Gilligan, a feminist scholar, describes an ethic of care that involves people not only being listened to, but truly authentically heard. And I wonder how our approaches to kindness might change if we begin first with that kind of deep, authentic listening. Martin Heidegger, a German philosopher, uses the term authentic solicitude to describe a type of care that encourages growth and independence for other people. He describes his approach to care as leaping ahead to anticipate the challenges and provide the supports that might be necessary, but also the space for people to solve their own challenges. He juxtaposes this with leaping in, or rushing to save people or to solve their problems for them. When I was a graduate student myself, and my mother was in the hospital in the intensive care unit, I turned in a subpar paper. My advisor, however, did not accept it and say, "Fine, I know you're going through a hard time, this is okay." Instead, she told me that it wasn't a passing paper, and she could tell that I wasn't in a place to be prioritizing school right now. She gave me the number for campus counseling services and told me that when I was ready, that she would be there to continue to support me. It took me 6 months to feel like I was really ready to get back into school again. But when I was, she was there for me with the feedback that I needed to get back on track. And so she modeled for me in that moment what it means to leap ahead rather than to leap in. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, we were all facing incredible amounts of uncertainty and trauma, particularly for people in communities who were already experiencing injustices and oppression. And the abrupt upheaval forced us all to step back, slow down, reassess, and become more thoughtful and compassionate to ourselves, our students, our colleagues. And in the early stages of the pandemic, Arundhati Roy, an author and political activist, urged us to seize the drastic upheaval in our lives as an important opportunity. She described the pandemic as a portal, a gateway between one world and the next. You all can help create that next world. Though the urgency of the pandemic is behind us, I believe we need to continue to push ourselves to embrace the compassion, candor, and care that we saw foregrounded during the pandemic. Whether you are or will be working in the field of education, community development, crisis management, environmental science, or politics, I urge you to find ways to center kindness in your practice. Not the type of kindness that can unintentionally dehumanize or disempower people, but rather the type of critical kindness that centers our shared humanity, that centers listening, learning, humility, and growth. And I urge you to think about the moments where people showed you that type of kindness. Maybe it was during your time here at SIT, and consider the impact it had on you. I also encourage you to think about what this type of kindness can look like in your work. How can you engage in authentic solicitude with your colleagues, your students, your leaders, your constituents, and your environment? What does critical kindness mean in your context? At any given time, someone in your community is experiencing hardship. We all know how that feels because we've experienced it too. The circumstances might differ, but the essence remains. As human beings, we all know what it feels like to struggle. So please always remember to think about how your policies, your practices, your interactions, how they impact the people around you and the environment that we all share. So I will leave you today with this question to ponder. How can a lens of critical kindness help you to create safer and more equitable spaces for people, including yourselves, to flourish in as you move forward as leaders in this field? I now have the distinct honor of introducing our president, Dr. Sophia Howlett. Dr. Howlett holds a PhD in European Renaissance philosophy and literature from York University in the UK, and an MA in English literature from Cambridge University. After a distinguished career in international higher education, she came to SIT and has been leading us for 6 years and coming. Please welcome President Sophia Howlett.
Today, we are welcoming you to the scholarly community. We are also welcoming you to the SIT alumni community. I want to reflect a little with you today on what it means to become a part of our community. We started our commencement with land recognitions. We wanted to recognize that we are here on land that is Wantastiket, that is under the guardianship of the Elnu Abenaki. We also recognized our duty, our obligation to the other lands and peoples of SIT, represented today by our colleagues from Ecuador and South Africa. Those lands and peoples are also here with us today. I look out and I see faculty, staff, and leadership from all over the world, from Australia to Patagonia, South Africa to Iceland, and from across the United States. All different, with our own histories, our own ancestors, our own connections to our lands, and also our own different ways of seeing and making sense of our world. We are diverse, but we are all SIT. We are all world learning. I see you and your families who have gathered together here on our beautiful campus, and those who have joined us on our Vermont Hill virtually. For some of you, this may be your first time on our Vermont campus or seeing this special place. And yet you have been part of this place since you joined SIT and will remain a part of it as you go out now into your careers and the next steps in your lives. We all belong here in this special place, loved by generations of people. But we are all part of all those special places across the world where SIT and all the people who make up SIT and world learning live, work, and learn. You have studied in Iceland, in Ecuador, in Zanzibar, in South Africa, India, Malawi, Serbia, Jordan, Switzerland, Vietnam, Mexico, and all over the world on internships and practica, and here in Vermont. Your experiences have been diverse. You have been invited to think and learn globally, but also to see, experience, and understand locally. So many sights and sounds, peoples and places have been part of your educational experiences. The places you have stood, the things that you have seen, the people you have met, all so different, and yet all are SIT. We are all SIT. Wherever you were with us. Wherever we are SIT. We are one world learning. But before I leave you, I invite you to think a little bit more deeply about this sense of belonging. We think a lot about belonging, what it means to belong, and how we can ensure that every member of our community feels that they do belong. I've been on my own journey recently. Over the past month, I've been in 3 different countries around the world that I have called home. And I realized something important to me. They are each still my home. They always will be. This isn't about nostalgia or remembrance of things past. I realized that belonging somewhere means so much more. You are connected. You are part of this place. But also, this place is part of you. Being part of SIT, having an education, means that you will always be part of those special places where you have studied, whether in Ecuador or South Africa or Vietnam or here, it is always with you. Close your eyes, reach out your mind, and you are there. It's sights, sounds, smells, the distinctive sound of the wind in the trees, the color of the earth, the people who get you, the familiar landmarks and conversations, the people who make you smile. Home are places that gladden the heart when you are there, where you feel at home and know that you are part of those communities wherever you might be. But belonging means you are also now responsible. We have obligation, a duty to this place, these people. Part of your educational journey has been to experience your learning in some very different environments. You have learned from the places you have been, the people you have connected from, and we hope that you will bring that knowledge, that understanding into your future career. They have welcomed you, and you are now a part of them. You and I becomes we. You and I, we have a responsibility to this land and those who have held guardianship of it for so long, and to this institution that now resides here. We have a responsibility to those places where and people with whom we have studied. How will we act? What will we do to fulfill our obligations, our responsibility to these places, these people, the new homes we have made? You have spent time with us building bonds. We hope they are strong and durable. They are bonds of reciprocity. This ceremony is a recognition of your experience and your success, but also of that connection. You are invited. You are invited to remain a part of our global community that is rooted in the lands and peoples, the experiences, the understandings that make up our wonderful institution. You are invited to take what you have learned to go out and make our world, our communities, peoples and lands a little better. You are invited to start the work. You are invited, knowing that it is now a responsibility that you will carry with you. Thank you. It is now my great pleasure to introduce this year's keynote speaker, World Learning Trustee Bisa Williams. Retired Ambassador Bisa Williams is Special Advisor on Mali for the Carter Center, and since 2018 has served as an independent observer for implementation of a peace agreement in Mali. She is also a senior fellow at Yale University's Jackson Institute for Global Affairs, where she teaches a course on peace building. Her distinguished career in foreign service includes 2 years at the National Security Council in the White House, US Ambassador to Niger, Deputy Assistant Secretary in the Bureau of African Affairs, and Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs, where she led the US delegation to talks in Havana, Cuba, ending a 7-year hiatus of high-level direct discussions. Upon retirement, she co-founded Williams Strategy Advisors, LLC, while chairing boards dedicated to public health, food security, environmental sustainability, and more. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree cum laude from Yale and holds a Master of Science in National Security Strategy from the National War College of the National Defense University, a Master of Arts and an ABD in Comparative Literature from the University of California, Los Angeles. Please join me in a warm welcome for Bisa Williams.
Thank you very much, Sophia, for that lovely introduction. I always get surprised when I hear people talk about myself. But first, let me say that it really is a great honor for me to be here at World Learning's School for International Training, one of the best kept secrets and often imitated pedagogical programs in contemporary academic circles. You graduates, and those of you watching, represent a rare and distinguished group of humanists. You had to research hard to find SIT, or going perhaps better known traditional colleges and universities to find SIT and to commit to the unique, immensely challenging course of study this institution offers. I commend your choice. And we are here today to celebrate it. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to have to take this. Okay, thank you. I apologize, but you get the point. Okay. Before a celebration, however, as is appropriate for a commencement, this new beginning, it's time to reflect on what next. Earlier this year, I had the privilege and delight of giving a commencement speech at another unique New England institution of learning, my old prep school, the Northfield Mount Herman School. It's just down the road a piece in East Northfield, Massachusetts. It's a high school, so I won't, of course, offer you the same speech. Their new beginning, after all, is quite different from yours. I will, however, with your indulgence, borrow one anecdote from that speech to accent a different point. It's what you call a Foreign Service war story. In its abbreviated version, it takes place in Panama, 1989, during Operation Just Cause, when the United States government staged a military action to remove General Manuel Noriega from power, which he had seized from the legitimately elected government. I'm crammed in the back seat of a sedan with a Brigadier General, General Gann, the State Department's Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs, Mike Kozak, and the Department of Defense's spokesperson, Bud Jacobson. We're being driven by 2 MPs, military police. We had missed our caravan back to Southcom from downtown, so we were going it alone, and we got caught in crossfire. The car stops. The Brigadier General starts yelling at the MPs, "Back up, soldier, back up!" And the car doesn't move. "Back up, soldier, back up!" he repeats. I'm thinking, I'm going to die in Panama. The bullets are whirling overhead, and the DAS leans over to me and says, "Lisa, you want a Beretta?" In response, with no hesitation, a loud, powerful voice bellows out from deep within me, "I am a pacifist." Now at NMH, at Northfield Mount Herman, I didn't tell the rest of the story. The theme for the high school students was to listen to one's inner voice, learn from surprises, all very relevant. But for you, graduates, I think the end of the story is really very relevant as well. We're crammed in this back seat. The general is yelling at the soldier, and I blurt out, "I'm a pacifist." And General Gam immediately says, "She doesn't want a gun, she doesn't want a gun," as if seeking to avoid that I erupt into hysteria, which I did not. Seconds later, the car begins to inch backwards. Slowly, we inch into a dead-end alley, and the men jump out of the car. General Gans began pacing back and forth and swearing under his breath. Excuse me, folks. God damn it, this is just like Vietnam. This is just like Vietnam. We came down here, 10,000 men, stealth bomber, night vision goggles, and we're getting our asses kicked by some goddamn urban guerrillas. I observed this scene calmly from the backseat of the still temporarily stranded sedan. Needless to say, we made it. It's the end of that war story that I think is important for you, graduates, to contemplate. General Gann was ruminating over what he thought was a conundrum of history, the frustrating and potentially life-threatening annoyance of not learning from the lessons of history, of what the military fondly refer to as drinking the Kool-Aid, being so enamored of yourself, your inventions, your knowledge, your achievements, that you are blind to the irrepressible evolution of things around you. In my opinion, we are seeing a disturbing evolution of things play out in various areas of life today. My most recent focus has been on West Africa, but I would venture that the same could be said were we to talk about artificial intelligence. I'm going to stick to West Africa for a minute. In West Africa, imperfect democracies are being challenged, overturned by militaries. Imperfect, long-standing alliances in West Africa risk being sidelined for unproven and, in some cases, demonstrably dangerous new ones. And unchecked extremist groups as sophisticated as ISIS and Al-Qaeda are expanding their influence and dominion not only over young men with little education and no jobs, but over women and girls and family clans, as well as over educated but weary middle-class Africans. As our traditional tools of engagement take hold, but seemingly with less effect. The current standoff in Niger is a case in point. Niger's legitimately elected president and his family are being held hostage, deprived of food and water by a military junta which has seized power, while the international community, including the US government, appears to waver over how to defend democracy, over whether collective military action in Niger to reinstate the legitimate president is really justified, over whether the junta's anti-Western rhetoric rebuking the threat of an international military response would somehow overshadow clearly articulated and demonstrated commitment to principle. And finally, over whether the principle of collective support for democracies can be applied at all in Africa. The climate change crisis is an issue that is causing havoc world over, with profound international affairs implications as well. Desertification, flooding, food insecurity, fresh water access, sea level rise, coastal erosion, all those effects of climate change are growing into new catalysts of conflict. These many challenges on our planet are getting bigger and bigger, and their intrusion into our interconnected world grows more insidious and personal. This irrepressible evolution of things, of thinking, of technology, of international alliances, and human relations are what you graduates will grapple with in your careers. Neil deGrasse Tyson's Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, which I highly recommend, discusses an element found in deep space that is not naturally formed, to his knowledge, and can only be produced by mechanically mixing two or more elements. He doesn't infer that because it exists, somebody or something made it. He just allows the question to remain open. There are things that we don't know and can't yet explain. Someday, maybe we will. Openness to discovery, to the unexpected, to the unimaginable will be essential for you as you commence this next phase of your lives. Most of all, an honest recognition of the limits of your knowledge, rather than a self-affirming declaration of the absolute correctness of your version of reality, is what you, as tomorrow's potential diplomats or practitioners in foreign affairs, will need. Along with that, you will need the courage and resolve to keep working on solutions to complex problems, to resist the temptation to go with the flow. My hope is that you will take the experience of what you've learned here into your careers and approach our current day and future challenges with an openness to the views of others, an understanding not of the relativity of all things, because you will need a grounding in a principled belief system in values, but of the imperative to adjust your thinking and your approach to match the situation before you and not the idea of the situation. You have benefited from a committed faculty, unique experiences, and perhaps a lot of the proverbial midnight oil. May your futures be bright, and someday, in the not too distant future, may you think back on your days at SIT with a smile full of gratitude. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us here today. It's now my pleasure to introduce this year's faculty speaker, Dr. Azim Khan. Dr. Khan has been an academic, practitioner, a policy influencer in the field of health, education, human rights, and youth leadership for over 2 decades. He is director of SIT's International Honors Program in Human Rights and co-chair of our Masters in Global Health. Dr. Khan holds a PhD in Health, Gender, and Human Rights from Aligarh Muslim University, and 2 master's degrees, an MA in Human Rights from the University of London, and Master of Laws from Aligarh Muslim University. He received a Bachelor of Laws with distinction in Constitutional Law from the University of Lucknow. We are very honored to have him as part of our faculty. And now please join me in welcoming Dr. Azim Khan.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Dean Laura. Congratulations to all of our students who are graduating today. Congratulations to your parents, family members, partners, friends, and to SIT leadership, all faculty, staff, and knowledge partners who supported our students throughout this academic journey. I am delighted to be the faculty speaker and have the privilege to be a witness to your graduation ceremony. Thank you, SIT, for providing this opportunity. I'm getting a little nostalgic about my own first master's graduation 27 years ago. Please allow me to share with you my own life journey. I was born in a small village on India-Nepal border, which also happens to be one of the poorest districts of India. Most people in the community lived with very small resources, but we had a strong, vibrant, and interdependent community. What I experienced in my childhood growing up in that community, it taught me to be optimistic and creative, to identify local resources and engage the community to create more resources within the community. My father passed away when I was 12 years old, and my youngest sibling was barely 5 years. My mother, who didn't have formal college education, was widow at the age of 39 with 5 kids to raise. After only a few days of mourning, she put herself together and never looked back. She not only raised us as men and women with ambitions and values, but also developed herself as a community leader. And she was elected as chair of the district board with 3.5 million population in one of the largest provinces or states in India. She defeated a very well-known politician, minister, and member of parliament in the election. So I'm sharing this story with all of you, to the graduates particularly, because sometimes, we see what is happening around the world and it depresses us. We see challenges and we think that, how are we going to address these enormous challenges? Learning from these two real life events that I just shared, and from my peers, my teachers, and practitioners, I was able to put my work of, my first master's degree into action. It took 14 years, but I was able to co-found a K to 12 school in my community with the help of my colleagues, my friends, community members, and today I'm very happy to share that in this school there are more than 800 students, and a significant percentage of the student body is actually first generation learners. And this community has very limited resources. Parents don't have lot of financial resources to support. But you will be amazed to see how students, teachers, and community are engaged in this. I'm sharing this especially to with you, you are graduating today, and there will be challenges. You have to have little patience, and I'm sure you will do much better than what I could do. I mean, and you just need to have patience, and you need to be persistent, and that's what actually will help, and that helps all of us actually. My community and myself didn't have great schooling like many of you. This is also a time when we didn't have internet. We didn't have technologies. We didn't have this concept of global citizenship, particularly being in rural and remote area of India. But you have all these advantages. Now you are equipped with all kind of hard and soft skills. I mean, you had amazing teachers, my colleagues sitting here, and since I know them personally and I work with them very closely, I'm sure they have impacted your life in many ways. And it very well that you will turn into a resource building leader in the years to come. It will then, we will have we have this principle of that we learn about communities with them from here at SIT World Learning. We believe in the principle of nothing about them without them. So these are really important, principles that you will, I'm sure, carry forward. And, you know, you will sorry, I'm terrible in reading speeches. So now you have the responsibility to engage with the critical global issues like climate change, global diplomacy, peace building, international education, global health, humanitarian action, and sustainable development. These are really important issues. And you know it very well now that, SIT is very unique, that, we focus on these critical global issues in our work, in our studies, in our teachings, in our practices. Your degree program would have certainly helped you in getting equipped with multiple hard and soft skills to become a first-class professional and a leader in your respective fields. I hope you continue to remain engaged with the solution-oriented knowledge building and constructive contribution towards making our planet slightly better on each passing day. Even if today might be the end of your journey of formal education, as you graduate, please continue to be curious and don't stop thinking critically. Don't be afraid of challenges and failures. Learn and try again with more perseverance. Never give up. The world is your stage. Congratulations once again to all the graduates and best wishes for your life as you embark on a path to touch and transform other lives with compassion, empathy, love, and respect. Thank you very much.
It is now my pleasure to introduce this year's student speaker, Jana Sislovich. Jana Sislovich today receives her Master of Arts in Intercultural Service, Leadership, and Management with SIT Graduate Institute. She returned to complete her master's degree after having studied abroad with SIT in Madagascar. Ando. Not with Ando, unfortunately, but yes. So Jana has over 19 years of experience working in international development in multiple countries with a focus on improving early grade literacy and has worked in all aspects of international education program management, from technical design to on-the-ground implementation. Please join me in welcoming Jana.
Thank you for that kind introduction. Good morning, graduates, distinguished faculty, and esteemed guests. Today we gather here to celebrate a remarkable milestone and achievement for graduates who have completed their master's degree. It's a moment filled with both reflection and anticipation as we look back at the challenges we overcame and the growth achieved, but also while continuing each of our professional journeys. Your master's degrees reflect your desire to improve the situation of our globe and the human condition. That's why we all ended up here at SIT, right? Our studies in the areas of social justice, sustainable development, peacemaking, and education, just to name a few, will equip us to continue to be leaders in our fields. But in these unprecedented times, marked by global connectivity and the rapid exchange of ideas, the importance of leadership and management skills have never been more important. Regardless of your field of study, in this intricately interconnected world, communication reigns a powerful force that shapes our societies, businesses, and communities. As leaders, then, it's our responsibility to open lines of communication so that we can ensure collaboration. How do we do that? It feels so big. The good news is that while it might feel impossible, if you take it on alone, you will never succeed. The leaders we must be are leaders who know we can't do it alone. As I thought about what to speak to you about today, my own head was overcrowded with messages, text messages, social media, messages from friends, family, my boss. So my message to you, or rather a reminder, surely, is about the art of listening. I recently heard a podcast from writer and speaker Simon Sinek, who highlighted again for me one of, if not the most important aspect of leadership, which is the skill of active listening. He suggested that in our current age of self-improvement, self-help, the age of self, we have lost sight of the village. In leadership, we must apply some of the same approaches that we employ in our friendships. Check in from time to time. When a friend is having a hard time, the most important thing we can do for them is to be present and listen, but also to create a safe environment for that friend to vent. We don't even have to have the answers. We just need to listen and bring an open heart and create a space for them to feel comfortable. As leaders, I encourage you to do the same thing for your teams. Be a listening leader. Foster environments where diverse voices will be heard, celebrated, and valued. Listening leaders allow the collective knowledge in the room to lead and solve problems. Allowing all voices to be heard will foster creativity, drive innovation, and create sustainable change. Listening leaders embrace the power of empathy, showing their own vulnerability in order to create space for everyone in the room. While the accomplishment you celebrate today is one that you can and should be proud of as individuals, none of us arrived here without the support of our peers, our advisors, and our professors. We've learned that true leadership emerges not from a single perspective, but from the ability to embrace and leverage the richness of our differences. The experiences from our graduate programs have provided us with the skills that have molded us into stronger leaders who can navigate ambiguity and transform challenges into opportunities, because we know we don't have all the answers. We find the answers alongside our teams by creating the space for others to be heard and succeed. The world needs your listening leadership now more than ever. Each interaction, each decision, and each connection have the potential to shape the course of humanity. As we step out into the world, let us be ambassadors of understanding, advocates for equality, and drivers of positive change by not being the loudest voice in the room. In closing, I'd like to express my heartfelt congratulations to all of you. Your dedication, perseverance, and hard work have brought you to this momentous occasion. Take pride in your achievement and carry the lessons learned during your master's courses as guiding lights. As we depart on our individual paths, let us remember that true leadership is not defined by title or position, but by the positive impact we make on others' lives. May the skills you've learned here at SIT inspire and transform our world one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jonna. I now have the pleasure of recognizing one of our key faculty upon her retirement. We are pleased to announce that we are growing our wonderful community of Emeriti faculty today as we confer the rank of Emerita to Dr. Leslie Turpin. Congratulations, Leslie. I would ask Dr. Turpin to stand. And I also ask Dr. Bruce Dayton, on behalf of the Graduate Institute faculty, to please approach the podium to share some words about Dr. Turpin.
Hi, Leslie. Hello, everybody. I'd like to take a moment to recognize a dear and valued colleague, Dr. Leslie Turpin, former chair of SIT's Masters in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, or MAT, who's retiring from SIT after more than 30 years of service. Those years have been rich ones, filled with classroom teaching, advising, program design, advocacy for students and faculty and staff, expansion of SIT into new areas of the world, and passionate intellectual inquiry. They've also been filled with constant service to fellow humans in need, whether those are refugees arriving in Vermont from faraway places, students teaching in faraway places, or local communities seeking ways to bring new forms of art, culture, exchange, and creativity into the lives of residents. Leslie is among the best of us. She's what SIT as an institution strives to be: sincere, forthright, reflective, inclusive, and just. There was not a committee that wasn't better for Leslie being on it, or a class that didn't shine brighter when she led it. Leslie and the talented math faculty she has worked with built a nationally recognized TESOL program here at SIT, which the U.S. Department of State named as a top English language fellow producing institution in 2022-23. She and her colleagues pioneered a plurilingual pedagogy dedicated to teaching language in ways that accurately reflect its usage in the real world. She's tirelessly connected language training and acquisition to deeper questions of structural inequality and human dignity. She will be deeply missed, but of course this isn't a eulogy. Leslie will not be gone. Her legacy is embedded in every blade of grass, every building on this campus. She also is granted today the title of Professor Emeritus, meaning that she'll continue to speak with students, mentor faculty, and contribute ideas for future programming. You're just not going to get paid anything anymore. So please join me in thanking Leslie for her years of service to this institution and for the examples she set for all of us. We love you, Leslie.
Thank you, and congratulations once again, Leslie. Now, the time has come. You thought it would never come. We will be conferring degrees to our graduating students. At this time, will the candidates for the degree of Masters of Arts please rise or raise your hand as you're willing or able, either here in person or online? President Howlett, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty and the vote of the Board of Trustees, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree of Master of Arts in recognition of their successful completion of all degree requirements.
And this is the moment of suspense, right? On the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority granted by the state of Vermont and vested in the Board of Trustees of World Learning and the School for International Training, and by them delegated to me, I am pleased to confer upon the candidates the degree of Master of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Graduates, please indicate your new status by transferring your mortarboard tassel from right to left. Congratulations. We welcome you to the company of scholars. Graduates, in the year ahead, when you think of the influences on your lives, you will see the faces and hear the voices of many of your professors. This is an appropriate moment for you to thank them for the role that they have played in the process of educating you. Will the faculty, all the faculty of SIT, please stand and be recognized? Thank you. In addition, today would not be possible without the support and encouragement of your family and friends. It is your parents, partners, and children, your friends, both those outside the Graduate Institute and within, including SIT's dedicated staff, who have been there to support you in your quest for education. I ask the parents, partners, children, relatives, friends, and staff members who have encouraged and helped these graduates to please stand if you are able and be recognized. Thank you. Graduates, as you come forward, our staff will assist you. As you walk across the stage, you will have your name read by Professors Joe Lanning, Leslie Turpin, and Sora Friedman, while Associate Vice President of Enrollment Services, Jennifer Lee, places your master's hood upon you, and Dean Colbert assists me in presenting you with your diploma cover and congratulating you. After the leaving the stage, please return to your seats and remain seated for the remainder of the ceremony. You have all been given a commemorative water bottle, courtesy of our Alumni Engagement Office, to remind you to be sustainable out there. We hope that you will carry it with you, use it often, and be reminded that wherever you go, you are part of the SIT community. I now invite Jennifer Lee, Dr. Leslie Turpin, Dr. Sora Friedman, and Dr. Joe Lanning to the platform. I also invite Dean Colcott and Michael Clark, our chair of the Academic Affairs Committee of the World Learning Board of Trustees, to join me to congratulate the graduates as they cross the stage. Graduates, now please rise.
Is that working?
Rick Willem Bentley, Master of Arts in Practice. Jared Shea Haynes, Master of Arts in Development Practice. George Charles Howard Cash, Master of Art, Development Practice. Sarah Rolfe, Master of Arts in Diplomacy and International Relations. Jennifer Tolman, Master of Arts in Diplomacy and International Relations. Mary Caroline Thibodeau, Master of Arts in Humanitarian Assistance and Crisis Management. Brenda Belcher, Master of Arts in Intercultural Service, Leadership, and Management. Emily Machen Mays, Master of Arts in Intercultural Service, Leadership, and Management. Jana Sislovich, Master of Arts in Intercultural Service, Leadership, and Management. Carrie Pike Knapp, Master of Arts in International Education. Kit H. Adland, Master of Arts in Peace and Justice Leadership.
Anna Carlton Brown Carballo, Master of Arts in Teaching English, speakers of other languages, escorted by her son Sebastian. Matthew Alexander Francis, Master of Arts in Teaching English to speakers of other languages. Danielle A. Kennedy LaRose, Master of Arts in Teaching English to speakers of other languages.
Good morning. I have the honor of honoring those who are calling in virtually from all around the world who are celebrating their graduation today. Master of Arts in Climate Change and Global Sustainability, Aidan Damon. Lucy Valentine Gill Lagodich. Marcella McNerney. Dakota Soleil Osgood. Master of Arts in Diplomacy and International Relations, Sebastian Chavez. Joshua Lawrence Englert. Kelsey Garrett. Deborah Julie Katsuva. Michelle Shabnam Rahimi. Master of Arts in Global Health, Kelly Allen. Master of Arts in Humanitarian Assistance and Crisis Management, Jonah Block. Jenna Marie Palondo. Joseph Frederick Fox Sowell. Master of Arts in International Education, Nadezhda Braun. Anne Christine Flanagan. Maya Nicole Kozarski. Tashina Tamara McNeil. One more page. Master of Arts in Peace Building and Conflict Transformation, Anna Long. Master of Arts in Sustainable Development, Tara Comstock Green. Erin Thompson. Master of Arts in Teaching English to the Speaker of Other Languages, Susanna Gobaitis. Alyssa Nashold. Graduate Certificate in International Education, Yasmin Arlette Acosta Myers. Meredith Love. Peace in Ukraine, back to you.
I would now like to ask Eowyn Reno, Associate Director of Alumni Engagement, to come to the podium to welcome our graduates to the worldwide community of SIT alumni.
Congratulations, graduates. It is truly my pleasure as a fellow alum to welcome you to the SIT and World Learning alumni family. We are a vibrant and now growing community of over 125,000 changemakers from all parts of the globe. As you venture forth, you will find your fellow alum engaged in amazing work across all the full spectrum of social impact fields. We all share a bond. We chose to educate ourselves about the world's most pressing issues, not just from textbooks, but by engaging directly with those whose lives and livelihoods are impacted by and shaping the responses to those issues. In so doing, we have hopefully learned how to learn from those that are different from ourselves. And my hope for you as alumni is that that learning will never stop. Today is about celebrating the hard work and contributions you have already made while earning your degree. And I'm here simply to tell you that we look forward to celebrating all of your future successes, and that I hope you will stay engaged with the SIT community in the years to come. And I will leave you with just one parting thought, and that is that one of the most important ways that you as alumni can give back to SIT and world learning is to help more emerging change makers find their way to this space in all of the that we learn together. Congratulations again. We are so excited to see all of the ways in which each of you continue to make the world a more sustainable, peaceful, and just one. Thank you.
On this day, the 12th day of August in the year 2023, the School for International Training has officially conferred degrees on these graduates. Graduates, go forward with courage and grace, carrying with you the traditions, strengths, and vision of the institution. On behalf of the trustees, faculty, and staff, I declare that the 57th annual commencement exercise of the SIT Graduate Institute is now concluded. A warm congratulations to all the graduates and their families. A few housekeeping notes before we conclude. Students may return SIT regalia to room 106 of the Lowy International Centre, the last time we have to do this review, right? If they wish. Students may keep their gowns, hoods, and caps. Graduates, please pick up your diplomas in room 106, very important, of the Lowy International Centre. Faculty and platform party members, please return your regalia to the following locations. Faculty to IC 101 and the platform party to Boyce Hall. And to everyone else, please join us as our guests for a reception in the Lowy International Centre. And now, as our band leads our recessional from this place, we ask the audience to please remain in your places until the academic procession, first the platform party, then the faculty, and finally graduates have recessed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, a lot of, yes. I can fish it out.